In the 1930s and 1940s, scientists in various countries realized that splitting a uranium atom releases enormous amounts of energy, making it possible to create a super powerful bomb. Russia, work on the project began in 1942 to 1943, when physicist Georgy Flerov noticed that all articles on nuclear physics had disappeared from Western scientific journals. He realized that the United States had begun building a bomb. Three things helped Russia, or rather the USSR, develop atomic weapons. 1. National science. 2. Intelligence. 3. Administrative resources. 1. National science. A group of scientists led by Igor Kurchatov developed the theoretical basis. The Soviet physics school was one of the strongest in the world at the time. 2. Intelligence. Soviet agents and ideological supporters, the most famous being Klaus Fuchs, transmitted the plans for the American Fat Man bomb from the United States. This eliminated the need to waste years testing dead-end routes and saved a significant amount of resources. 3. Administrative resources. Lavrenti Beria personally oversaw the project. He turned it into a top priority, mobilizing enormous resources, from Gulag prisoners for uranium mining to secret industrial cities, for example, Arzamas 16. Result: on August 29, 1949, the first bomb, the RDS-1, was successfully tested in Kazakhstan. RDS stands for Special Jet Engine, or in common parlance, Россия делает сама, translated, Russia does it itself. Today, Russia and the United States are responsible for approximately 90% of the world's arsenal, with each country possessing over 5,500 nuclear weapons. The United States was the first country to use nuclear weapons. This is Oppenheimer. He headed the Los Alamos laboratory where the bomb was assembled. He is called the father of the atomic bomb. The first bomb test took place on July 16, 1945, on U.S. soil. The second test took place in Japan. On August 6, 1945, the United States dropped a nuclear bomb on Hiroshima, and on August 9th, another nuclear bomb was dropped in Nagasaki, Japan, again by the United States. These were the only times in history that nuclear weapons were used for military purposes. Today, the United States holds the second largest number of warheads among nuclear powers, followed by Russia. China. With Soviet support and independent development, China was able to develop its own nuclear weapons. In the 1950s and 1960s, the USSR assisted China in training specialists and designing nuclear facilities. After the break in relations with the USSR, China accelerated its own research. The first bomb was tested in 1967 on Chinese soil. Currently, China ranks third in the world in terms of the number of nuclear warheads. France. French scientists who participated in the Manhattan Project laid the foundation for this project. They worked on the Manhattan Project after the war, when the U.S. sharply restricted access to its secrets even for its allies. French physicists returned home with invaluable experience, which later allowed France to create its own bomb much more quickly. Thus, France became a nuclear power on February 13, 1960, successfully conducting its first atomic bomb test, Blue Jerboa, in the Algerian part of the Sahara Desert. Currently, France has 290 nuclear warheads, placing it fourth among nuclear powers. United Kingdom. In October 1952, the United Kingdom became the third country to test a nuclear weapon. Britain had been developing a military nuclear program since 1940, but during World War II it was forced to significantly slow down its work due to the need to divert resources to other areas. Britain's first nuclear weapon was an atomic bomb tested in Australia. The United Kingdom is the only nuclear power in the world that has never experienced a nuclear explosion on its soil. Currently, the country has 4 nuclear submarines, placing it fifth among nuclear powers. India. In 1955, construction of India's first reactor began with British assistance. On May 18, 1974, India conducted its first secret nuclear weapons test. Operation Smiling Buddha marked the beginning of India's emergence as the 6th nuclear power. India's goal was to deter potential threats from China and Pakistan, as well as its aspirations for regional leadership. Currently, India possesses approximately 180 warheads, making it the 6th largest nuclear power. Pakistan. In response to India, Pakistan developed its own nuclear weapons. The program's leader, Abdul Qadir Khan, worked in Europe and gained access to uranium enrichment. He returned to Pakistan and essentially laid the foundation for the nuclear program. Pakistan purchased the equipment through various countries and intermediaries. There were rumors of Chinese support, but much of it is officially classified. Pakistan views nuclear weapons as a deterrent against conventional and nuclear conflicts with India. Currently, Pakistan ranks 8th among nuclear powers, with approximately 170 warheads. North Korea, a country or a single person, suddenly realized that nuclear weapons are a political trump card. If you have the bomb, you can pressure other countries, demand negotiations, and prevent outsiders from interfering in matters that aren't theirs, as was the case in some countries. In the 1950s and 1960s, the USSR helped North Korea build its first scientific nuclear reactors, trained North Korean scientists, and shared nuclear technology. Then, in the 1970s and 1980s, North Korea built its nuclear center in Yongbyon, learned how to produce plutonium, began secret military development. But despite this, it wasn't until 2006 that North Korea conducted its first nuclear test, becoming the youngest nuclear power. Today, North Korea ranks last among nuclear powers with about 50 warheads. Israel is not an official power, but many experts believe they possess weapons of mass destruction. Israel never says, "we have them," but it also doesn't say, "we definitely don't." This is called nuclear ambiguity. Everyone understands it, but no one officially discusses it. This man's name is Mordechai Vanunu. He is an Israeli political activist who worked as a technician at the Nuclear Research Center in Dimona. In 1986, he disclosed information about Israel's nuclear program to British journalists, after which he was kidnapped by Mossad agents. A Jerusalem court found Vanunu guilty of treason and espionage and sentenced him to 18 years in prison. He spent 11 of those years in solitary confinement. After his release in 2004, Vanunu was banned from leaving Israel or communicating with foreigners without permission from the Shin Bet. And this proves they clearly have something to hide. If you like the content, please like and subscribe.